I know, moving around. Yeah, I know.
Come on, the wild inflatable tube man.
Friends, countrymen, fellow degenerates, welcome back to this episode of Bets and Buds. We are the Buds helping you cash your bets. I am Jason Smoking Token.
I'm Bobby Light.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. It is almost to our betting season, especially my betting season. That's the only sport I bet on is the NFL football, National Football League, baby. So welcome back.
We're going to throw some action on the Hall of Fame game?
Oh no! I can't piss away money on people. I have no, because that's the whole point of why I don't gamble the rest of the year, Bobby. I don't gamble on shit I don't know a damn thing about.
It's on Underdog, right? I looked at it earlier today. You can
because who are the quarterbacks? DJ Ugalele and some
Hooker Hendon, maybe.
Hell yeah, Hooker Hendon possibly.
Hooker
yeah.
Hendon.
So yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm sorry, I can't place those bets. I can't. But you know what? I will enjoy there's football on. I will watch it for probably about the first 20 to 30 minutes and then be done with it after that. Just to be like happy to see National Football League football back on, even though it's going to be guys with just names and jerseys. All right, so let's dive in a little bit of the Cardinals action here because we're right on the Major League Baseball trade deadline.
Yes, we are. There have been some moves made around baseball today. Trade deadline, obviously, 3 o'clock Eastern tomorrow or 4 o'clock Eastern, one of those times. Cardinals yet to make a move. It's really looking less and less likely that they're going to make any kind of blockbuster move. They really do have to get rid of Helsley. He even has come out and said in an interview last night that he'd be open to re-signing with the Cardinals, even if they did trade him.
Right.
So, Sonny Gray's not going anywhere. He said no. Mm-hmm. I guess they went and asked Wilson Contreras if he wants to go somewhere, and he said no.
Which is a good sign you got guys that want to be Cardinals.
Yeah, that want to be there. But still, it's the pitching. You're probably getting rid of some pitching. Helsley, Matz. Matz probably is going somewhere. Matz has looked good coming out of the bullpen.
You know what? When they traded for him from Minnesota, I mean, they've gotten their value at least out of the bullpen because I think the first year or two that he was with us, he was hurt pretty much. For the most
he was
part.
pretty much hurt.
Yeah, so we didn't really get a whole lot out of him. Last couple seasons, we got a lot of long innings out of him out of the bullpen, so at least got some value there. So let's get some return value if we can.
Just get a prospect.
Yeah, get a prospect. Draft pick, whatever it may be.
The Cardinals have one of the worst as far as depth goes minor leagues right now. I mean, they've totally, over the last 10 years, I guess they just fell asleep at the wheel or fell behind Major League Baseball.
Well, what it was they shot themselves in the foot by going for offense because when they went after Nolan Arenado, they had to give up pitching prospects there. They gave up pitching prospects to get Goldschmidt and also Carson Kelly. Like that was another one that they lost there.
They gave up pitching prospects. Azuna's the one that hurts because Alcantara and Gallen have just turned into two studs.
So it's turned into 2 studs. I mean, so they really and all that stemmed off the Oscar Tavares death. Because if it wasn't for Oscar Tavares passing in that accident in Puerto Rico in a car accident, they wouldn't have had to reach for Arizona. But that was the reason. That was their counteract to what happened to that.
Well, they had originally wanted Giancarlo Stanton. He said no. I'm going to New York. Yeah. And then the Marlins told the Cardinals no on Christian Yelich. And then turned around and traded him to Milwaukee like 2 weeks later. So.
But that guy, they didn't get Stanton because, Stanton can't stay healthy to save his
can't.
life. He is the most muscle-bound baseball player that pulls the muscle. That's the only person they tell not to hustle to first base. You know what I'm saying?
Just jog that one out.
Just hit that one out, man. If you don't hit it out the park, man, just trot it on down to first base.
So the Cardinals right now, they are 55-54. It's a middling team again. They're 9.5 games behind the Brewers now. Like, I think that unless they do one of those magical runs like they've done a couple of times.
But even if they do, I mean, they're not going to do anything with it when they get there. So that's been the problem with this ball club because that's what they'll do. They'll put that magic together. And unfortunately, the St. Louis fans, and this is what keeps the Cardinals stuck. The St. Louis fans are not going to deal with them tanking the season in order to get. And it really doesn't do any good to tank a season anymore now that they have the lottery because now you can't get back to back.
Yeah, now you're not guaranteed that number
top
1
10,
pick.
or even top 10 picks really at back to back years anymore. I think you can get back to back top 10 picks, and after that, you are out of that lottery swing. Yeah, so I mean, it doesn't even pay to do like what the Orioles did a couple years ago, where they lost 90 to 100 games pretty much
like
3-4 years. 5 years in a row. I mean, so it didn't really do any good. The other thing, go ahead. You got any more?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying it's 4.5 behind the Padres. It's a finer wild card spot. You're 4-6 in your last 10 games. You're 1.5 behind the Reds, who are in front of you still. And they've made a move today. They traded for Brian, the third baseman from the Pirates.
Okay.
So the crazy stat about all of this is since they swept the Guardians in that series and had 2 shutouts of their own in that series, they're 8-16. And they've been shut out 6 times.
Which we got to now look at the Guardians. That sweep is something suspect right there too, as well.
Because they went.
They got 2 pitchers right now that are under gambling investigation right now. So I mean, so like you got to look at that Guardians series. Like, yeah, they swept them, but was it legit? Because
I'd have to go back and see who pitched in that series.
Well, I mean, like one of the guys, it was definitely because they showed the highlights.
The one that got suspended the other day.
The one that got suspended first.
He was in that.
Yeah, he was definitely in that series first. Well, then the next guy they had, I think he was one of the top either closers or late inning relief guys.
Yes.
I mean, he's the same thing. So what baseball has to do is eliminate this right here. You cannot make money off of strikes and pitch counts. Like when you live bet.
Oh, as far as the live betting goes.
Yeah, because when the live bet, because that's where it is. That's the main one.
I mean, it's the easiest one to try.
That's the easiest one to manipulate. Is like to go through and say, okay, I'm going to start this pitch off 1-0. All right, yeah, I'm going to throw one outside. I'm going to grease one up by his feet, whatever it may be, and whatever inside track that somebody that you're involved with has on that. I mean,
that's the problem. They put down a large sum of money on that,
right? And that's how they always find out. That's how they always find out. Because
like, who's putting $30,000 on a first pitch strike?
Right, exactly. And so what usually happens is it's usually the professional gamblers are the ones that are the first ones to actually like notify the leagues and the betting entities to say, hey, this looks like some improper shit, because those guys are looking at everything. When you gamble for a living, you're watching every line, every number, every like movable way to make money possibly. So when you get that all of a sudden $50,000 on a first inning pitch, like 1-0 pitch, or like, okay, it's a 2-1 count, and all of a sudden, like, there's a $50,000 bet on it being a strike or a ball coming up next. Those guys get tipped off fast and like do that for a living.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's nuts. I mean, but I would hate to do it because they don't have a life. Like we've talked about this before. The people that do that for a living have no life.
Right, they're always in the numbers, always watching the games, reading the papers, or scrounging the internet.
Oh, well, you have a team at this point. When you're doing it for a living, you develop a team, because a lot of times if you gamble for a living like that and you're making that type of money, a lot of books will kick you out. And so that's why they have to. You have to have a team, because they want suckers that like how we've bet the last few years that go for your same game parlays and 6-5 and 6-leggers and plus 20,000. And I mean,
I ain't gonna get rich, but I'm up 600 this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun for us to do it that way, because we're not trying to change our tax bracket by doing it. Like, but these guys that do it for a living, they get kicked out of that sucker quick.
So yeah, don't be surprised if the more comes down. I'm sure more players are gonna get caught up in this.
I mean, it's gonna happen. I mean, there's no way to avoid it with it becoming such a big part of the game and the business and being out in the open like that. It's just
$11 billion business per
year.
Yeah, or at least this past fiscal year.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that just comes with the territory. Also, last thing to touch on Major League Baseball too, as well as we might have a labor discrepancy. If you saw that big thing with Bryce Harper
and kicking Manfred out of the clubhouse.
Manfred came back at him and kind of gave him a couple of fuck yous right back too. Because what's going to happen? What is happening here is the reason why baseball had their stoppage back in '94 is they've been fighting to have a salary cap for a long time, and part of the reason for that is because baseball, more than any other sport, has control of their players and their contracts for the first like 5 to 7 years that they're in. Because like you have to have like 5 years of service time to even go up for arbitration to start making some real money. Then 6-7 years to get in and like really start making your
like
bank.
Your real free agent.
So guys like Bryce Harper, who just signed a $13 million, like $600 million deal, that's going to hurt those guys, because that all of a sudden that cuts his money by a third probably, of what he's capable of making. Like Juan Soto making that $750 million, like that cuts his money by a third.
Yeah, but their money's in the bank already. So
well, I mean it is, but I mean going to it for the future. And so these guys, that's why the MLB has always had one of the best player associations, because for them, they're fighting for all the guys in their future too, as well, to say, you know what? No, this is going to kill these guys' earning potential going forward, as far as being able to make $500, $600, $700 million contracts. That's not going to happen anymore if that goes through and comes into play.
True.
So hopefully baseball doesn't do that, because they kind of seem to be in a good spot right now as far as popularity. And
I really don't think they are in a good spot right now. Why do you think they keep trying to tweak the rules?
I mean, as far as how much more attention that is on the game than what's been in the past. I mean, because The main reason why is because they're actually promoting their stars a little bit more.
Right.
I mean, you've got it where Aaron Judge is getting his push. You got Shohei Ohtani's getting his push. Juan Soto's getting his push. They're trying to push Paul Skeens, who isn't a big personality guy, but just putting him out there.
No, and he's stuck in that dead market.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's the one thing the salary cap would help would be teams like Pittsburgh, because not only would you have a ceiling, but you'd also have a floor that you'd have to go to. So we'll see what happens going forward from there. So.
All right, that's all I got on baseball. Like I said, we'll have more next week. Tell you about what the Cardinals did.
All right, so we're at training camp right around the way. We got the Hall of Fame game tomorrow, so we're going to dive into the NFC South this week. NFC South is what we have up next. All right, so I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are favored to win this division by plus 105.
Sure.
That'll be 4 years in a row that they've taken this division by storm, so plus 105. The Falcons are at plus 220.
Really? You're getting a plus, huh?
Yeah, plus.
DraftKings has got them at a negative 110.
Negative 110?
Yeah,
really?
110.
Oh, so that's good juice right there. But plus 105 for the Bucs. So you got plus 220 for the Falcons. The Panthers at plus 340 to come in the third. And the Saints, the lowly Saints at plus 1,500, which I don't expect a whole lot of that from them at all.
Now, this is definitely Tampa Bay's division to win.
It should be. But I can see it coming down pretty close, honestly, because the Falcons made some moves, made some strides. It's going to all depend on the growth of Michael Penix.
Right. So, but, I mean, can the Buccaneers' defense actually do it? Because that was their problem last year. The defense was really bad at the beginning of the season. Now, towards the end of the season, they got a little better, but they still only finished 9-8.
Yeah, I mean, you know what?
Even with putting up 502 points.
Yeah, I mean, the defense struggled a little bit. I mean, and they have a kind of, somewhat of a tough schedule. And, I mean, so their over-under wins is at 9.5 this year. The biggest thing I'm concerned about with the Buccaneers is Tristan Wirfs is going to probably start out on the injury. Yeah, so he's going to probably start out on the PUP list, so the physically unable to perform list. If anybody isn't familiar with that lingo, they got a lot of returning starters coming out, though. So, I mean, as long as they can uphold on the offensive line, that running game seemed to turn around really, really well by the end of the season. And that was one of their Achilles' heels like the year before that, was that they couldn't run the ball. They actually were able to run the ball, which actually helped open up things for Baker. Baker showed that he's was a solid NFL quarterback.
It's crazy, too, because he's had two different offensive coordinators, and they both went on to get NFL jobs after spending the season with Baker.
Yes,
so.
they're like, man, if you could get done with Baker, and make him look that good, it's good enough to get them head coaching positions there. So
they do have a third offensive coordinator now, the third season in a row. So we'll see how that goes. But Evans is back. They signed Goodwin to that big contract in March.
Which Godwin took. Godwin actually took he took less money to go back to Tampa over going to New England, because New England offered him but it was probably if you looked at the money breakdown, it probably was almost a break-even standpoint, because no state tax in Florida, keep all your kids in the same place, not have to move, go up to New England where it's what they call it, Taxachusetts, because of how much they charge, which is so ironic that the state that had the Boston Tea Party, free us of taxes from England, all of a sudden start taxing everybody within their state more than probably many other states in the country.
Now, their only free agent of note was Hassan Reddick coming from the Jets, even though he was terrible with the Jets last year.
But it was also a half season. He really wasn't in the building because he held out, and so on. So I mean, they got to add some more to that pass rush there. I think they'll be okay.
He was a double-digit guy in the 2 years prior. Getting with the Jets.
Yeah, so. I mean, he's a pass rush specialist. That's what he does. I mean, so that'll help them in that aspect. For me, their projected record, I have them going is 9-8 again.
9-8 again.
Yeah,
okay,
9-8 again.
Because I like the Bucs a little more than you.
The reason why is because I saw that. I mean, there's other teams that have gotten better in that division. I mean, we'll talk about that as we move down the line here. So 9-8 is what I had the Bucs going here. All right, so the next up, we got the Atlanta Falcons, who they were projected to go second from the betting odds standpoint. Yep. Their over/under win total is 5.5.
Really, that low?
Yeah, 5.5.
No, when you look at definitely going over on.
I would take the over on it too as well. I think they're looking at because of the unknown with Michael Penix, and I mean, really the only notable defensive addition they made was Leonard Floyd that I saw. Right. They added a couple of linebackers, the guys that are middling starters, special teams type guys.
I don't know. I could see Bijan Robinson taking that ultimate step this year. And just
I can see it too. When you look at a lot of fantasy drafts, they actually have him being the number one player in a lot of fantasy drafts. I don't know how much I trust that, but I mean,
you run the ball, you pound it with Bijan, you take some of that heat off of Penix Jr.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we can see he can sling the ball.
I mean, he's got weapons. I mean,
you got London and Pitts and
I mean, you got Darnell Mooney, who's still there on the roster. I mean, we'll see. There's
and Bijan comes out of the backfield; he can catch.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's a great receiver out of the backfield. So for me, their projected record, I had them going was 8-9.
8-9, okay.
Yeah, 8-9.
Man, I'm just a little bullish on the South this year. I got the Falcons going 10-7.
10-7. Yeah, you know what? They just had a tough matchups because they play the NFC West as one division, and they also play the what is the other division they play? Because where's I know they play the NFC West. I know that for sure. So they match up with Seattle, the Rams, the Niners, and the Cardinals.
Well, last year they played the AFC West, so it'll be one of the other three.
Yeah, it's let's see. No, it's the AFC East because they play the Patriots and Dolphins. Yeah, so it's the AFC East they're matching with. So then you got the Bills game that's factored in there too as well. So and so we'll just see what happens as far as that's concerned. So 8-9 was where I kind of leaned on with the Falcons. All right, next up we had the Panthers. The Panthers, who I think are actually going to be a surprise, sneaky team. So remember last year I told you the Cardinals were my sneaky cover team?
They were.
Panthers this year. Mark my words.
Sneaky
Panthers,
cover team this year?
Sneaky cover team this year. So their over-under win totals at 5.5. They picked up Rico Dowdle from the Cowboys at running back.
Who had a career last year.
To add on to Chuba Hubbard, who they actually gave a little contract extension to. Yeah, added contract extension. They brought in Hunter Renfrow. They added to that receiver room a lot by Tedero Mamor, however you say his name. But the big boy from Arizona.
The kid they drafted.
Yeah, they drafted out of Arizona. Again, I'm not a big person on going with like rookies to make that big of an impact out because it's tough to do in the NFL.
And you still got the kid you drafted last year.
Xavier Legette?
Yeah, Legette. He was on my fantasy team for a little bit.
I mean, he was kind of had a lackluster season for the most part.
He did.
But Bryce Young
stepped it up towards the end of the year.
Yeah, and Bryce Young has looked like he made some great strides. He looked like the guy who deserved to be the number one overall pick when they drafted him. Even though he's an undersized guy, he showed that he can read the defenses. I think that benching helped him a little bit to kind of slow the game down for him. Get to see and watch Andy Dalton get into the lineup.
Now, I've seen on the internet where a couple of pundits have said the Panthers might have a top 10 defense.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. They're going to be a sneaky good team. So that's why they were my sleeper as far as like a sneaky cover team. Just like how I said the Cardinals were last year. So for me, their projected record, I have them going to 6-11.
I also have them 6-11.
6-11. All right. So that's a solid bet because I think they're going to win some games, but I still think they've got some pieces to put together.
Yes, they do. They do.
All right. So the last team we got here is the lowly New Orleans Saints.
Oh, yeah. This one's going to be bad. I mean, Kellen Moore's your new coach. I mean, neither one of us are enamored with him. So.
No. I was glad the Cowboys didn't hire him as the coach when they came in. So you got Tyler Shuck, who's looked to be projected starter, who has not looked good in camp. But of course, this is camp reps right now, so we can only go off of that. But I know a lot of guys on the team were kind of pretty frustrated watching him in practice, holding the ball 4 or 5, 6 seconds.
Way too long.
Taking off and running. It's like, dude, just throw the ball and get us reps. You're not going to get sacked here, so just throw the ball and get there's no need to hold it.
Right.
Let you have your own personal clock in your head. But again, this is the NFL. It's tough to get those reads. The disguises on defenses, the speed of the players, getting adjusted from there. You also got Spencer Rattler, who's coming back, who was a projected coming out of high school, very high pick. Went to South Carolina. Well, went to Oklahoma.
Yeah,
then transferred to South Carolina after the Caleb Williams show developed. And so, I mean, again, I think this is going to be a long season for New Orleans.
Now, Rattler did get some experience last year.
He got some experience.
Maybe he can run with that a little bit. But I don't see the Saints team being any good. I mean, you've got Olave, who's a concussion away from being out of the NFL.
Yeah, you got Olave. Obviously, you got Alvin Kamara still. Juwan Johnson at tight end.
Right.
You got Tyrann Mathieu just retired too from safety. So their safety. So it's going to be tough. Tough sledding for the New Orleans, I think, this year. Their over-under was at 5.5 wins. They did add Brandon Cooks, and they did also bring in Justin Reed for the Chiefs at safety.
Did. But if you don't have a quarterback, you throw.
Yeah, if you don't have a quarterback in the NFL, if you don't have a quarterback in any level of football, you can only go so far. So for me, I got them as a 2-15 team.
2-15. I 3-14. So
yeah, 2-15.
I could easily see it being 1-16.
Yeah, I forced that 2 wins, and when I was looking at their schedule. So 2-15 is
that's the thing about this division, because the Saints and Falcons, it doesn't matter who's good, who's bad.
Yeah,
they're going to have a banger of it.
That's always a toss-up game. That's one game in betting wise. If anybody's ever followed along with the show, I don't touch the game, the Falcons Saints games. I don't care what the line is. I don't care what who the favorite is.
Doesn't matter where they're at.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where they're at. I don't want to touch that game with a 10-foot pole.
No, not at all. Yep, 3-14 for the Saints, 2-15 for you.
Yep.
Oof, that's brutal.
Yeah,
that's brutal. Do we want to talk about the flying dildo?
I missed that.
You didn't hear about that one?
No, I missed that.
Oh, so last night in the WNBA game, I don't remember the teams, but all of a sudden, as you're watching the court, they're down there banging on the left end. Here comes a green dildo flying out of the crowd. Lands on the court, and they don't even stop play immediately. Oh. They let them, bucket it up for another 30 seconds.
No, I did not hear that at all.
And then, when they did call a break it was, right by one of the benches, so all the girls are, huddled, around the dildo while the coaches are talking to them. Oh, I don't know, man. The WNBA's got to get better optics.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. They're still searching themselves as far as trying to make how what money are the players owed? As far as the TV contracts have gone up, so there's going to have to be some adjustment because right now they're only getting 9% of the revenue. Right. So I do believe they need to go up a little bit. There's no reason why you shouldn't have more six-figure players at least within the league. I get it that they say they lost $40 million last year. And I understand that's part of the negotiating standpoint. But, usually you still got these franchises still valued at, I think, what was it? One of them that was going up for sale, I think they still had it valued at, $2 billion or something like that. Wow. Yeah, so that's the thing. Because it's a draw in sports. The one thing I told everybody during COVID, the one thing that's going to help, going to come out of this is the value of how valuable sports is to our country and to our economy.
Oh, we missed it. There was no doubt about it.
Not only that, just, you start to see how much revenue is driven through that, between the parking, the concessions, the merchandise, and all those things. And as those things go up and up and up and up, that those numbers just have to go up as far as from the players. What amount of money? 9% of the revenue share is way too low. When you got in the NBA, I want to say it's 50 some odd percent. Maybe close to even 60 with the NBA players. So 9% of the revenue share, I would say you at least have to get that up to 20 to 25, somewhere in that range in the negotiation. Okay. That's got to be that, and that would at least push the salaries up from Caitlin Clark getting $78,000 a year with all the merchandise she's selling and everything else. So yes, she's making her money off court, but there's no reason why her salary shouldn't be at least 150 to 175. That's just reasonable in my opinion. So yes, you lost $40 million, but. Okay, was that mismanagement of funds? Was that, as far as...
Yeah,
know.
Yeah, you'll never see those books to find out.
Yeah, because, you look at, how what's going on with the NFLPA right now. When they're talking about these guys all of a sudden going down to, expenses going to strip clubs for meetings, 2-week NFLPA meetings in Hawaii and stuff like that. That's always what happens. It's an abuse of power. And every time you get abuse of power, you get restriction. And so I think if hopefully we'll see. Like I said, if the WNBA keeps those eyes on it and keeps growing, that'll hopefully make those changes. So
it can't be the wrong eyes all the time though, for the wrong things.
Oh yeah, but it's the same thing with MLB. That Major League Baseball gets they get the same thing all the time. It's gambling scandal,
right?
Steroid scandal.
Football,
juice balls.
Football, it's smacking your wife around.
Yeah, but once the season starts, nobody gives a shit about that. It's game. That's all. Once the season starts, nobody gives a shit about that.
Yeah, that usually only comes down in the
offseason. Yeah, that only comes in the offseason. That little dead period right before training camp starts. Guess what happens when you go to training camp? You don't hear any of that shit anymore because all the players are locked up in some dorm room somewhere, getting ready for the season, getting ready for the grind to go make that money. So, that's where we're at.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny last night.
Oh, yeah,
because they even zoomed in on the telecast.
Yeah, I miss the flying dildo.
Bright green, too. That bright green.
Yeah, I missed that one. So, all right, but that's all I got this week.
That's all I got for this week.
All right, Director Dave, you got anything going out of there?
No, MotoGP is still off for 3 more weeks or another month.
Yeah. All right, well, shout out to Director Dave and keep us on the ones and twos. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, add to the comment section. Shout out to True on the Track for keeping us up on these beats. I'm Jason Smoker Token.
I'm Bobby Light.
We'll see you next week.
Peace. Yeah.